Hello, and welcome to Trusting After Trauma, How to Neutralize Narcissistic Abuse. I'm your host, Pi Venus Winslow. This informative interview series will provide valuable insights from experts who are dedicated to helping others heal from childhood trauma and narcissistic abuse so they can lead joyful, powerful, and fulfilling lives. Many of these professionals specialize in medicine, science, psychology, abuse recovery, energy work, mindset, nutrition, and much, much more. I'm super excited to have Tanya Penny here with us today. Tanya Penny, author, occupational therapist, vibrant body and abundant life coach, teaches, empowers, and supports you to heal chronic illness and past trauma using her mind-body-spirit methodology. For 25 years, she experienced anxiety, depression, and carried extra weight. In 2004, Tanya was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. That was her wake-up call that there were some deeper issues in need of love, attention, and release that medications, lifestyle changes, and medical interventions couldn't touch. It wasn't easy and it wasn't quick, but she healed. She believes there is a place and time for doctors and Western medicine, but if you are 100% committed to healing all areas of your life, your soul is called to go on a journey as well. Now, Tanya is devoted to teaching the therapeutic meditation process, TMP, and the 10 keys to a vibrant body and abundant life, trusting that it will find its way into the hearts and lives of those who need it and are ready to take that journey. Welcome, Tanya.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for hosting this.
Oh, thank you. And it is a pleasure to have you here today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yay, we did it.
We did it! Yay!
Technology! We did it.
We had some technical difficulties at the beginning, but we got it rolling now. So Tanya, what is your personal experience with the narcissist?
Yeah, wow. I probably could go on for days about this, but I had, in a nutshell, I had both types. Many of you probably have heard there's overt and covert narcissism. Narcissists, and I had one of each growing up. So my father was definitely the overt narcissist. The world revolved around him. Everything was his way or the highway. He was very critical. He was an alcoholic. Definitely didn't care what other people needed or wanted, or there was just no like emotion there. Everything really was about him. And then on the flip side, I had my mother who, and this was like kind of mind-blowing to me when I really started to do this deeper inner work, realizing there was even this type of narcissist, the covert. Because she looked like to everybody else, like, oh my God, she's so nice. She's such a people pleaser. She's so, cares so much about other people. And when underneath that, when I would go out and about with her, she was so nice to me, but we would get home and she would turn on me if I didn't do and be who she wanted me to be, if I didn't meet her needs. So, verbally and physically getting attacked if I didn't, quote unquote, meet her needs. I was also, from a very young age, her counselor. And so, yes, like forced to be. So yeah, that was my experience growing up, just in a nutshell, with both types of, I guess, narcissistic people. And I do believe narcissism is on a spectrum.
Yes.
And and I also believe the amount of work I've done around it and the studying I've done around it, that these people aren't bad people. It's just those are the ways that they learned to get their needs met, given the way they were treated or not treated growing up. And unfortunately, many of us who grow up with that carry it on, in some way, shape, or form. So I just want to put that out there, that from my perspective, narcissists aren't necessarily bad or evil people. Their behaviors are, not always great. And that probably every single one of us listening to this has a little bit of that, what I call narcissistic behavior. I don't even like to use the word and label people as narcissists anymore, because I'd like to look at it as a behavior.
Yeah.
That is done for the sole reason of getting your needs met, right? Which started in childhood, to stay
Mhm.
safe, to survive,
Mhm.
ultimately to get our needs met.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. When I started doing my deep work, it was very humbling and sobering to make the connection that the things that my parents did that 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 traumatized me,
Yes.
if I really honestly looked at myself and my behavior and how I operated in the world, that I did those things too to some extent.
Yes, absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
because I learned it, I learned how to, we learn from our parents. They're our models.
We carry it on. We do what is modeled or the exact opposite of,
Hmm.
right? So yeah, for myself too, when I was doing my deeper healing work, I definitely needed to heal the trauma from how I was treated growing up, which we'll get into obviously in a little bit, how we do that. But also to look at my own behavior and have compassion for all of us, because really everybody on the planet wants to get their needs met. And
Yeah.
as a child, we didn't have a choice. Like we had to depend on those people. And like for me, one of my biggest, I would say, covert patterns is that people pleasing. I would do things not out of love and true caring, but just to get my needs met. What I thought I had to do to get my needs met. Definitely as a child, but now as an adult, here's the big thing: we don't have to keep doing that anymore.
Yeah.
So just, yeah, it's an
Yeah.
interesting little
Hmm.
little play here that we're
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. So that dovetails really nicely into my next question. So as adults, if we may find ourselves attracting narcissists into our lives, and so why does that happen?
Yeah, that's a great question. So again, it goes back to childhood, what was normal for us, what we experienced. And I'm going to add, from a soul perspective, I'm going to put some spirituality in here. So from a soul perspective, I believe that we did choose to have these people, our parents, and perhaps other adults that you had in your life growing up that were part of your caregiving team. Um, we chose to have them come into our lives and be a part of it for the reason of growth and healing and evolution, ultimately. So none of us are victims here. I think that's really important I mean, as children, we may have been victimized, but from a soul perspective, we are co-creators. We asked for this, right? We asked for this to happen so that we could do what we're doing today, Pi, right? Here we are helping other people to heal this so that they can move on and be in fulfilling relationships and know that they're worthy, all of those things because of what we chose to go through this experience. So ultimately, we continue to attract narcissists into our lives that mirror our parents, right? Whatever narcissist behavior you grew up with, you're going to continue to attract that into your life now in order to get your attention and actually heal those childhood wounds,
Hmm.
right? So that's why, I mean, I guess it's the long version, kind of, but why we keep attracting them is to heal the original wound. And once that's healed, we won't attract those people into our lives anymore. I've experienced it for myself.
So have I.
Yes. So
It's
it can
true.
be done, right? It can be done. But
Yeah.
that's ultimately why we attract it. And so it's not a good or a bad thing. It just is. It keeps showing you what still needs to be healed from that childhood trauma.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I loved what you said about that we're co-creators, and that, and that ultimately we chose our parents, and and we chose um our experience throughout our life. And you mentioning that you and I get to do this work now, where we help others heal. And I just want everybody out there to know that, like Tanya said, like, you have been traumatized, you have suffered, but it's not for nothing, right? There's a reason why. And we get to tap into that power
Yes.
and that transformation. We get to turn it into something bigger and greater.
Yes. The lead to the gold, I think they call it, right? The alchemy of, we don't have to continue to suffer um, from our past trauma. So, and continue to invite it into our lives so it can be healed. So that's a powerful thing to acknowledge, right? Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So, how do we begin to heal our original narcissistic wound?
Yeah, so there's a few key things that I work with my clients, and that I, of course, had to do for myself. And a little bit of this is going to be repetition, but it's one of those things where you're going to need to keep hearing it. And one of those, I would say, number one, is to really have that compassion, practice having that compassion for pretty much everybody on the planet. I haven't met somebody who hasn't experienced having narcissistic parents, and then also continuing to do those behaviors themselves, right? Those behaviors we're talking about, both overt and covert. So I believe that, having that compassion for yourself and others, and believe me, I'm still working on it with my parents as well. I feel like I had done so much, and then a new layer of stuff came in, memories, because I didn't remember a lot of my childhood. It was so traumatic. Let's see, when was it? Last December, I had more memories come in that my father had sexually abused me.
Mm.
And so a whole nother layer of like having that compassion, knowing that he was actually sexually abused too growing up, and how all of this has contributed, right, to his behaviors. Yeah, so really having that compassion, as hard as it can be sometimes. And if you can't have it for the other person right now, just focus on having it for yourself. So at least 3 times a day, I do this, and I recommend to breathe in, close your eyes, and we can do it right now just for a few moments. Just breathing in that acceptance and compassion for ourselves, for what we experienced growing up, maybe for even what we're experiencing, the challenges we're having right now with this type of behavior, both our own and other people's. And then breathing out and sending compassion to everybody else who struggles with narcissistic behaviors, which is pretty much everyone on the planet. Those people, your parents, maybe a loved one, maybe you're currently in a relationship with someone who has overt narcissistic behaviors, maybe it's a partner. So again, breathing it in for yourself, and then breathing out and sending it to, you can do it to everyone on the planet or a specific person. And just doing that several times, 3 times a day, can really make a shift, because we're all energy. And so taking a few moments to do that is very healing, not only for yourself, but for all the other people that suffer from trauma. It's our trauma that has caused this narcissistic behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, whether it's subtle or extreme, kind of depends on how subtle or extreme your trauma was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first piece. And it's simple, but it is really powerful. I don't know if you felt a shift at all, but
Yeah, I was just gonna say I totally felt a shift doing that.
Yeah, it's the breath is, and just setting our intention like that can be, and having it really come from your heart, like even putting your hands on your heart,
Mm-hmm.
or an area. Like I have a lot of clients that have chronic illness. I'll even have them put a hand on whatever area of their body they know they're holding that trauma, their
Mm.
symptoms or illnesses. So one hand on your heart, the other hand on whatever area of your body has been affected
Mm-hmm.
by that trauma can be really powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would say number two, again, to acknowledge that as a child you were victimized, even though we chose it. You know, the human part of us, we've got our soul part and we've got our human part. So as a soul, yes, we chose these experiences, but as a human, um, the human part of us needs to know, that child that was traumatized needs to know, you know what? Yes, you were victimized, and I'm so sorry. And now we have the power. We do not have to put up with that type of behavior. Like as children, we just couldn't say, you know what, I want new parents.
Right.
Now we
Some of us
can
actually
say,
did say that.
well, you can say it. You can say it, but the likelihood of it happening was probably really small unless they did something really bad,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah. And even if they did something really bad, like, you know, I went and tried to tell my mom what my father was doing and she ignored it. So, you know, even like trying to get help as a child, sometimes it really was difficult,
Mm-hmm.
right? It really was difficult to make that. We really were stuck, is what I'm trying to say. Oftentimes we really were stuck. And so we did what we had to do. But as adults, like it's so interesting. I was just talking to a client yesterday. She's 60 and she's finally ready to leave her husband, who's she's been married to for 40 years, who is huge, like gets the trophy on the overt narcissist spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, one of the questions we talked about was, you know, why did you stay for so long, right? And she is just like, she didn't know that there was, she didn't remember or know that there was a choice,
Mm-hmm.
right? She didn't feel that because of the belief system she held, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But but yes, simply put, you have the power now. You're not stuck. You can set a boundary, and that boundary might be to leave, right? If it's a partner, if it's, even if it's family, you don't have to put up with that shit anymore. Like
You don't.
I don't talk to either of my parents right now. You know, I just don't, because it's not healthy for me to do that, because they've never gone through any type of recovery
Mm-hmm.
and deny anything that ever happened up until today.
Mm-hmm.
So, so yeah, we can set boundaries now. We have power. And then the third thing, which I already kind of alluded to, is really look at those beliefs that you took on given your trauma, given the way that you were treated growing up. So the woman who I just referred to before, you know, she had a belief, I can't leave, I'm stuck, right? I don't have the power to leave. And, you know, which is a belief she's held on to for a very, very long time, which we're now shifting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and one of her big things now is financial. You know, she raised 7 children with this man, has never worked a day in her life. I mean, motherhood, she had 7 full-time jobs,
Right.
but but she doesn't know how she would financially support herself if she left, right? So really looking at those belief systems, maybe I'm not worthy of love and attention, my needs aren't important, will keep you staying with people who continue to treat you. That's self-fulfilling prophecy, right?
Yeah.
Because our beliefs do continue to attract the people that will treat us that way, and um, what we're willing to receive or what we think we deserve to receive. So discovering what those beliefs are is really important, that were created by the way you were treated. And
Yeah.
then learning tools to shift those beliefs,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's not like a one-time thing.
Right.
It's like, I mean, these deep-rooted beliefs
Mm-hmm.
that keep attracting this type of behavior, it does take some time, I would say. You know, for some people, does it happen overnight? Possibly. I haven't met anybody like that yet. A lot of clients work with me for 1 to 3 years to like fully heal their trauma, right? And their bodies and all of it. But yeah, learning tools. So some people, you know, I know people have used, I think it's, what is it, tapping,
Mhm.
EFT, but I've come up with a process, therapeutic meditation process, which you mentioned in my introduction, and that is a very, I want to say it's a very nurturing way to help shift those beliefs. You don't have to be awake. It reprograms them while you're taking a nap or sleeping at night.
Mhm.
So that's one of the big tools that I have used and helped my clients, um, offer to my clients as well. Because if we can shift that, then our behaviors are going to shift, and we're going to start attracting different people into our lives and let those other ones go. Right? We'll
Yes.
have the courage to move on because we
Yeah.
know that we deserve more.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the power of our thoughts and our, you know, and our belief systems, because it what we believe manifests out into the world. That's why when you move through healing and changing those belief systems, you stop attracting the narcissist
Absolutely.
because your
And you're able
beliefs
to
are
take different actions too. So you'll stop attracting, but you'll say, "Oh my God." One day you'll wake up and you'll say, "You know what? I deserve to be treated so much better than this.
mm-hmm.
So I'm going to set a boundary, and if they continue to do this behavior, guess what? I'm going to leave.
Yeah,
I'm not going to stay in this marriage or this partnership, or I'm not going to talk to this person anymore." Like, why would I?
right.
You know, why would I continue to be treated this way? I don't deserve this anymore. So what we attract will change, but our actions will also change as well.
Absolutely. It's so powerful.
It is. It sounds simple, but it really is. It's like one of those things, it sounds simple, but it's not easy,
Right.
right? It's not always easy, and it does take practice.
Practice.
And it's kind of like taking your medication every day, right? To heal your trauma, it's continuing to do, um, practice, you know, some of the things that I started to tell you guys, to start with today. But you know, I'm sure there's going to be lots of things, awesome things given in this summit. But yeah, it's really taking those pieces and practicing them every day, in order to heal that trauma and move on with your life and attract that love and, just everything you really deserve. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So Tanya has a free gift to offer all of our viewers. Isn't that right?
I certainly do. It's one of my favorite things that I do around this time of year. And so this falls perfectly. I do a gift called the Holiday Survival Toolkit because we know the holidays are just around the corner, and many of us will be in, very close contact with our families where the narc wounds, I call them, originated.
Mm-hmm.
So the Holiday Survival Toolkit is a live virtual class, or you can listen to the replay. It's about an hour long, and I actually give you lots of tips and tools that you can use before and during, when you're with these people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty powerful. It's kind of humorous, and it's, we have fun. It's not all seriousness, but yeah, it'll give you lots of good things to begin healing. And then, you also get a guided therapeutic meditation practice. So one of my powerful tools that I talked about before to help begin to shift those beliefs that keep you attracting and stuck in those narcissistic, attracting those people into your life. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's what you get with the Holiday Survival Toolkit.
That's amazing. And I know that's going to be so super helpful for so many of our viewers. So thank you so much, Tanya, for that generous gift and for
You're
sharing
welcome.
your story and your wisdom with us today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's my pleasure. This is just, I can't say how much, this is so needed. Everyone on the planet, whether they're aware of it or not, um, deals with this. So thank you. I know it takes a labor of love to put something like this on, and I appreciate it.
Thank you. And I appreciate you as well. And I appreciate everyone who signed up for the summit and is watching and learning and getting this information and sharing this information. So thank you, Tanya. And thank you, viewers, for joining us for Trusting After Trauma, How to Neutralize Narcissistic Abuse. And I just want to remind everyone, please keep checking your email so you don't miss out on any of the amazing interviews in this series. We're going to continue to explore with our experts how we can neutralize the effects of narcissistic abuse and heal our body, mind, and spirit to live joyful, authentic lives. We'll see you soon. Lots of love. Bye.
Bye.